Dear defenders, this is day 1039 of Russia's desperate invasion of Ukraine. Russian ship broke Finnish communication cables. What do we know so far? What happened to the North Korean soldier captured by the Ukrainian defenders in Kursk? What did Ukraine hit in Orlovskaya Oblast in Russia? And why do Russian priests go to war? You're watching Only Facts with operator Starsky, and we will talk about the most important updates right now. In September this year, the US authorities warned about a possible Russian attack on European communication cables. In November and December, already several cases of broken European cables were reported. On a Christmas day, the Russian ship Eagle S dragged its anchor over a cable, destroying communication link between Finland and Estonia. The ship belongs to the so-called Russian Dark Fleet, which is basically a big group of vessels smuggling sanctioned goods to and from the terrorist federation. The ship was arrested by the Finnish Coast Guard, and interesting fact emerged yesterday. According to the Lloyd's List, their source, familiar with this specific vessel, reported that Eagle S had a bunch of transmitting and receiving equipment installed on board, which is extremely unusual for a simple tanker. According to their source, the ship could have been used for espionage. The source shared 60 confidential documents on Eagle S with the media and testified that equipment installed on board of the ship was able to record broad spectrum of frequencies, and later it was offloaded for further analysis by the Russians. Though we cannot really confirm this information, most probably it was passed to the Finnish law enforcement, but considering that Russians often utilize their electronic warfare in Kaliningrad to disrupt a GPS signal in the northern Europe, this could make sense. Let me know what do you think about it. Ukrainian defenders in Kursk Oblast captured a wounded North Korean soldier. This fact was also confirmed by the South Korean intelligence service that reported to the North Korean press that this case was true, because South Korean intelligence keeps real-time communication with the Ukrainian defenders. Frankly speaking, I expected to see the captured North Korean being interviewed by Volodymyr Zolkin, but unfortunately the dude became negatively alive in a hospital due to his injuries. What we know is that the wounded North Korean was captured by the Ukrainian Special Forces around 26th of December, and though he didn't survive, we still have good news, because additionally Special Force operators captured a Russian BTR and a bunch of equipment, as we can see on the pictures. 26th of December was really rich on good news. Ukrainian long-range missiles hit a Russian military factory producing Shahed drones in Orlovskaya Oblast, terrorist federation. According to the Russian sources, 3 Storm Shadow missiles hit some of the underground facilities that you can see on this image. Russians also report 2 terrorists becoming good and 7 more hospitalized. First Iranian drones delivered to Russia were not as advanced as they are today. They had inertial guidance system and they were not particularly precise. Russian terrorists built several factories on the Russian territory, and modern Shaheds already produced in Russia are packed with all kinds of equipment. Some of them come with Starlink terminals, some with GLONASS modules, and some with 4G modules using Ukrainian communication networks. Also, recently it was reported that Russians started equipping the new autonomous Shahed drones with AI, able to recognize targets that look like power plants. Again, why does the terrorist federation target Ukrainian power plants and heating facilities? Can Ukrainian army stationed at the front line survive without electricity and central heating? Of course it can. The main Russian target in this case is Ukrainian industry and civilian population. Russians in the social media seem extremely happy every time they send a new wave of drones against Ukrainian civilian infrastructure, of course hoping for Ukrainian civilians to freeze. And you should remember that every time you see somebody glorifying Russian terrorism or talking about, glorious Russian military traditions, because Russia is basically ISIS only with vodka and nukes. There's absolutely nothing beautiful about terrorist scum, especially Russian kind of it. And finally, just a bit of Russian cringe for you, my friends. You do know that Russians mobilize all kinds of rapists and murderers, which partially explains their atrociousness. However, it's not the main reason, of course. So, in Yekaterinburg Terrorist Federation, there was this Orthodox Russian priest, Daniil Sidorov. Late evening of 10th of November, he followed and ambushed a 19-year-old Russian girl as she was entering her house. The cameras installed in the house captured his face, full of Orthodox faith and Russian Christian love. The Russian priest then dropped girl on the floor and started masturbating. I'm not sure whether he shouted glory to Russia while doing it, but I think that is possible because it's a known fact that Russians only say it when they do some really, really dark, ugly shit, like raping a toddler in Bucha, or stealing a toilet in Kherson somewhere, or striking a children clinic in Kiev. That is a true glory to Russia case. Some of the neighbors who witnessed the dude stalking the girl called her mom, and she then saved her daughter from the Russian priest, who was later detained because he obviously had no cash to bribe Russian cops. The Russian church officially stated that Daniil Sidorov, Orthodox Russian priest, apologized to the victim and her parents and was released already as a Russian paratrooper because the Russian priest agreed to participate in the terrorist invasion of Ukraine. If you ask me, I don't really consider this man a Christian person whatsoever, but he's definitely Russian. With that, my friends, I wish you all a beautiful day. Please share this content because, recent statistics show increasing number of Russian supporters around the world. And the only reason for that is the fact that Russia spends billions of dollars on misinformation, while the truth is only defended by a handful of YouTube channels. Dear friends, we'll see you in the commentaries. I'm Operator Starsky, and as always, be safe.